And so,
We need 2 more of
So
those
what did the Terriers do?
At
They
least.
stole and huh?
for the Great Northern
No more
Forest.
rubber bands on.
Two more of those,
Yeah.
which would get that building about
So
70%.
so what did we do?
But that building's
all the hell you do?
that's this year's part.
The January 5th, 2026 meeting of the North Olmsted Building and Zoning Appeals Board of Appeals will come to order at 7:01. Everyone, please rise and join with for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ms. Wilson, will you call the roll?
Mr. Ammons?
Here.
Mr. Mackey?
Here.
Ms. Galatno?
Here.
Okay. Each board member has viewed the premises involved in the case. Each case will be judged on the physical situation particular to itself, so that no way is a judgment rendered considered to be public policy affecting all properties and situations elsewhere. 3 votes are required for approval. Cases will be called in order of the agenda. When your case is called, please come to the podium and give your name, including the spelling and address. Also, if anyone present is interested in the case being presented and wants to be heard on that particular case, please come forward at that time and give your name, including the spelling and your address as well. Call the first case and swear in all speakers. It's okay. Boom, boom, boom. So we're not dealing with that, right? We're not reading this.
So you're going to call the first case?
Okay, yeah. All right. First case, Mercedes Lux. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, excuse me, folks. This is my first time here. I'm new to this. Case number 340-2025, Mercedes Lux, 5854 Stearns Road. There's no microphone.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There is no microphone.
Sorry about that.
Hi, good evening. My name is Mercedes Lux. I'm living in 5854 Stearns Road, North Olmsted. And I'm here thank you for meeting with me
Mr. Chairman,
today.
if I may, just as a point of order, if we could have the next gentleman introduce himself as well, and then you'll both be sworn in.
My name's Joseph Fasino. My address is 5870 Stearns Road, Fasino, Fasino.
Okay. Yep. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the whole truth? Tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Okay, I'll introduce the case.
Okay. Let's see. Ms. Seeley, want to give the
Yes,
building
I'll
report?
introduce the case. This is for an accessory structure. It's a catio. There's two variance requests. The first one is a variance to allow a part of an accessory structure to be in the side yard. Code permits accessory structures in the rear yard of the residential lots. The applicant shows part of the structure in the side yard. The second one is a 4-foot variance for distance to the side lot line of an accessory structure. Code permits 5 feet. Applicant shows 1 feet. The accessory structure, the catio, is 12 feet by 16 feet with approximately 125 feet long, 2 by 3 foot run, constructed of wood from the window of the side of the home to the backyard. The home is just under an acre at 0.75. That's what I have right now. Thank you.
So thank you for meeting with me today here. I want to start by saying that I genuinely did not know a permit was required for this specific portion of the project. I have always lived in the city and have tried to follow the rules responsibly. Unfortunately, my contractor also believed that no permit was required because this structure is for enclosed daytime use only for cats and is not an outdoor living space or kennel. The cats will be outside after dusk, never be outside after dusk or before sunrise. They are always contained, quiet, and supervised. This structure exists only for safety and human care. I purchased this older home specifically because it has a large yard, which allows me to safely accommodate my pets and my family's needs. My home is already located 5 feet from the fence, which makes strict compliance with the 5-foot setback impossible along the side of the house. What I'm requesting today is very limited. A catio itself will comply fully with the 5-foot setback. Only the tunnel section, which runs from the side window of the house, cannot meet the 5-foot rule. For that short section, only we are requesting a 2-foot setback. As soon as the tunnel passes the back deck and pool area, it moves further away from the fence, exactly as shown in the drawings provided by my contractor. There is no other physical way to connect the house to the catio without this small adjustment. I would also like to share that this project represents a significant financial investment for me, over $13,000, which I made already paid. I am the caregiver for my disabled adult son and also care for my 74-year-old mother. This was not an easy expense, but I made it because safety and stability for my family and pets are very important to me. I chose this home intentionally instead of buying a newer house with HOA because those properties would not allow me the space or accommodation my family needs. I truly believe this setup was appropriate and allowed. Once I learned there may be an issue, I immediately cooperated with the city, and I am here now to correct the situation properly. I respect city regulation, and I'm more than willing to comply with reasonable conditions. This request does not negatively affect safety, visibility, noise, or neighbors. The structure is enclosed, quiet, and well-maintained, and the adjustment requested is minimal and necessary to the existing placement of the house itself. Thank you for your time, your consideration, and for allowing me to the opportunity to explain my situation.
Do you have anything to add?
Good evening. So the reason I'm here is to contest this, this portion of the cat run. I'm not against her having a catty on her backyard. That's her issue. She's already got a couple of these smaller portable ones. It's not a hardship, which is what the variances are for. First of all, the measurements don't add up. From her house to where the side of my fence closest to her house is actually only 5 foot 2 3/4 inches. My fence is held 12 inches into my property, which means the space between her house and the property line is only 4 foot 2 3/4 inches. With this thing in place, there's no way I'm ever going to be able to maintain, nor would she be able to get between there to maintain, to keep noxious weeds and stuff off my fence. Also, this walkway tunnel, it's a conduit for fire. If a fire were to come out of her house, it's gonna light up into my fence, it's gonna end up coming down my property, the whole 9 yards. It's not a hardship for her, okay? These aren't just pets. What she neglected to say is she breeds these cats for financial gain. So it's not a hardship. It's not like it's her beloved, just her pet. Like, she literally has a whole financial gain out of these cats. And again, now on top of it, you know, I do have some concerns with the wildlife back there. The structure that she did have built is kind of shoddy, and I wouldn't even think that it would be secure enough to keep chickens in. I have a video of a coyote that went through my backyard Sunday at 2:30 in the morning that was probably 50 pounds. You know, I have dogs, kids, grandkids. You know, the wildlife enough, you know, it does its thing back there in the woods. I would be concerned that that might draw undue attention, you know. Again, I'm not saying that she's not going to take care of the animals or it's going to be loud or anything like that. I really don't care about the aesthetics of it. My thing is, you know, I put a lot of money into my property. I've gone through these variances myself to do everything properly. You know, and there is other ways. She can come out the back of her house. She can go over top of the pool that's where it's not supposed to be, that she just had redone. She's got a swimming pool that is even with the side of her house, which makes that less than 5 feet off the property line. And that's in her own drawings and photographs. So she could come off the back of her house, keep that 5 feet between the property line, and everything would be fine. I'd have no issues. Everything would be far enough away that, you know, the snow shed and the water and everything's not going to hit my fence, prematurely deteriorating it. And yeah, I mean, other than that, it's just kind of a shoddy structure, but I believe that there's no hardship that should allow her to have that close to my property line. I went through all the bells and whistles when I did my big garage and driveway project to keep everything more than far enough away from the property lines, and it wasn't an issue. Again, this is just, it's a catio. It's, like she said, it's not a kennel, it's not housing, it's not for chickens or livestock to where she's gonna be feeding her family. It is literally for cats that evidently she's had for quite a long time in a different state where they lived in the other mobile units that are on her porch. So I don't see why such a large thing has to be going all the way through the property as a tunnel. You guys are going to require me to maintain my fence. You see the pictures. I wouldn't be able to get back there. Not that I really want to have to go onto her property, but if I can't get back there, she can't get back there. And, you know, before I had to call the building department, I mentioned to her contractor and the guys he had working there, and they just shrugged their shoulders and left it as, well, if she wants to move, she's gonna have to pay for it. So I'm sorry she spent 13 grand. Maybe she should have done a little bit more research. But it's now gonna become an issue to me. It's now a hardship to me because I'm not gonna be able to maintain my property. So that's why I want to contest that. And, you know, in the last meeting, you guys asked if she had more detailed drawings with more options. She had a little bit cleaner of a drawing that doesn't have all the exact dimensions, because saying, you know, it's 2 foot in the description, it's 27 inches in the part of the description, it's, you know, there's no numbers. It says 5 feet off the fence, but when you do the hard measurements, there's no way it can be 5 feet off of the fence because there's not enough room between the house and the fence. So half of it, they didn't even do their due diligence and get properly scaled drawings as the board requested before they move forward to this portion of the hearing. Not to mention, you know, the whole side yard thing, and the fact that there is one heck of a lot of square footage involved in this entire project. That's a lot of watershed onto the property, into the swale. You know, not to mention there's already 1 million posts cemented in the ground. But yeah, that's all. I don't believe there's a hardship and a necessity for this tunnel. I mean, if she wants, she can carry her cats out there. That's what she did for who knows how many years prior. You know, I don't have a tunnel that goes from my house to the backyard for my dogs. I have to walk them through the gates and around. But yeah, that concludes what I had to speak on. I just don't believe it's a hardship. It's more of a hardship for me to have it that close to the fence and the property line. Thank you.
Building department have anything to add?
I'd just like to recall that in the November meeting, the use was approved of the catio, and that's correct. She was supposed to come back with some one option. She had two options, the option that was already installed, and then two other options. So she did come back with what she wants to do. It may not be to scale, and Mr. Facino is correct in saying that, and what I did the write-up correctly, that it is, the fence is 1 foot on her property. The pool that was installed prior to her moving in there, she may have done some work to it without a permit, but that pool was already installed prior to her owning the home, and he discussed that a little bit. You know, there's no codes on catios. We have codes on animal shelters, chicken coops. They're very specific to what they govern, you know, and nothing talks about catios. Catio, you know, it's an accessory structure, I guess you could say, and that's the only thing you can go by is what we have in the code about the distances and the location of the accessory structure, the catio, and where it can be. We don't have anything on square footage for a catio. I mean, maybe it'll be something in the future we need to discuss. I don't know. It's the first time we've ever heard one, so not likely. But we've already heard this case a couple times. I don't really have any other additional information to add. Thank you.
Mr. Carell, you have anything to add? Oh, Mr. Upton.
Happy New Year, Mr. Emmons, and all the members of our commission. Nothing to add other than to note that when Miss Seeley and I were discerning which we were positive that at least a variance of some sort was necessary, as she stated. Our best read of the code is that this is an accessory structure. It should be treated the same way you would treat a shed containing, you know, lawn care equipment or something like that. That's what we view it as. That's what our code views it as, and all of the setbacks therein should be applied. So that's all I have, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. No, nothing at this time. No, thank you.
Does the applicant have anything else to add at all?
Yes, the neighbor chose to install his fence 1 foot inside his own property line. My structure is entirely on my property and does not end road. The catio is fully enclosed patched structure located entirely on my property. It has no electrical components, no heat sources, and is structured of standard outdoor materials similar to fences and decks. So it does not represent a fire hazard. It does not touch or alter the neighbor's fence, which was built 1 foot inside his own property line. Any roof runoff is directed onto my property, and I'm willing to add a gutter or drip edge if the city requires it. The structure is for domestic pet containment only, and I'm fully willing to comply with any reasonable condition the city determines. Yeah, and my cat, yeah, I'm breeding cat. I have a cattery, and those are nice cats, so I don't want they run away from my property. That's why I built that catio. And they only just going out for fresh air and some exercise. And yeah, Mr. Facino before offered me I can use his fence when we were in good term, when he was my contractor in the beginning. But since we're not in good term, he has a problem with my catio. Just that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Do you have more to say?
And again, yes, the fence is 12 inches into my property. And I will clarify that nothing of her structures are on my property. But I do need that full 5 feet in order to be able to maintain my property, which is where the issue is. On her alternate drawing, she's moving everything away, which again is going to be a real tight fit because, you know, at the garage where she's talking about, basically what she wants to do, she still wants to keep it where it is, which is, you know, this far off my fence. If you do the math on it, I got 12 inches of property, and she's literally like 1.5 foot. I got like 4 inches of room between the property line to get to my fence, to maintain it, to do anything to it. Where in her new drawing, she wants to shift it over going towards her garage. That's even kind of tight because there's only 8 feet between the garage and the fence at that point, and the 7 feet between the property lines. So at that point, if she puts it right up against her garage, then that's fine. It gives me the 5 feet if I ever need to access my fence. The part I have the issue with is where it jogs over and it's literally like a 5-year-old kid couldn't squeeze between there. How am I supposed to? There's been weeds and stuff, like, you know, people have to maintain it, but now there's no way to maintain it, you know, and it's going to tear up my fence. And then gutter system, even if she runs a gutter system, the pitch of the roof and the quality of the materials, it's just going to overrun and end up, you know, it's not like just rain hitting the ground and saturating the ground. Now you have the rain collecting on top of this shoddy PVC roofing that's just going to run right over, and the angle and the pitch of it being that close, it's just going to hit my fence. There's no way around it. I have a construction background, and unless they can present engineered drawings with the runoff and everything, like I had to do with my garage, then she shouldn't be granted the variance to keep it that close to my property. Yep, there's a pool. Yep, it was there. Yep, she might have done some work, but she can move everything else around. Why can't she run her catio off the back corner of her house inside the privacy wall of her deck and go over that? If it's only 2 feet wide and she's got a big round pool, it's only gonna be half over the edge of that pool. That pool's 4 feet above the ground. It's approximately the same height above the ground as her walkway. Go over top of your pool and keep everything 5 feet off the property line. That's all I'm asking. I want to be able to maintain my property because I don't want to have to go back and have to deal with the city when I'm in some sort of violation that I cannot get to. Thank you.
Board members have any questions?
I'm wondering, Ms. Lux, could you stand up at the microphone, please? What changes did you make to the catio, or what changes are you willing to make to this catio walkway attached to your house to accommodate your neighbor?
Yeah, I told, as on the picture, we're gonna cut it half, like now is much wider. My constructor know better the dimensions, but we're gonna cut it half, so it's not gonna be, it's gonna be this far from his house. I don't know how many feet is that. But yeah, it's gonna be half size, so it's not gonna be this wide like now. So, and about my pool, I only just bought a new lining. I didn't do anything with that pool because it was leaking. So that is not true also. But yeah, I would like to make it smaller until it's past the pool, and after we're gonna bring it away. I want away from his property line because he already damaged my catio, and I went to the police, so it's already I talk with the police and I put cameras so they're gonna see that, because there's no way a dried branch making this big hole right next to his fence and nowhere else, just over there, a big hole was breaking on the roof of the catio, but which we don't using since the city stopped the whole things. But yeah, I just don't understand why is he just, and I don't want him to come maintenance his fence on my side anyway. So, but if he has to, he can come because it's gonna be have enough place. If the city requires me, let him in to do his fence, maintenance his fence.
Okay, I want to note for the record that on item number 2 of your request for a variance, you're requesting a 4-foot variance for distance to the side lot line of an accessory structure. The code permits 5 feet.
Yep.
And currently you're showing 1 foot. And now you've just testified, if I understood you correctly, that you were going to change the dimension of the catio to it being an extension, an accessory structure off the side of the house to a maximum of 2 feet. Did I understand that correctly?
No, it's only just a tunnel which is coming out from my house. Only just this gonna be like about this much.
Mr. Chairman, If I may, to answer Mr. Mackey's question, the applicant shows a tunnel which is attached to the catio, so we don't divorce the two since it's attached as part of the accessory structure. So she might be saying that the accessory structure is 2 feet off, but it's the tunnel is that portion of it. Since it's all attached, it's all considered one. We can't break the tunnel off from the catio piece.
Yes, that's my understanding. The question I'm bringing is the request is asking for a 4-foot variance. And from her testimony at this time, my understanding is that she is not going to need a 4-foot variance. That the catio, in fact, may not be the catio walk, if you will,
The catwalk.
attached to the catwalk attached to the home, will not be as wide as it currently is. That there's some refabrication that's in order. Is that what we're talking about?
No. What she has supplied is what she wants to do. It's to be 2 feet off the fence, which is a foot into his property line. So she's really only a foot off of her property line. So that's why she needs a 4-foot variance for the catwalk on the side of the home and right behind the pool. And then she wants to jet it in a little bit. So then that part in the backyard will be 5 feet from the property line like it needs to be. But the part next to her house, because her house is so close to the property line and so close to the fence, on the side of the home, she would never be compliant ever. That's why they're suggesting it move somewhere else. She would never be compliant coming from the side of the window into the backyard where
Right.
it's located because of how small her lot is and how close her house is to her property line.
Okay. Mr. Groh, the catwalk and the catio, are we to consider those two structures or one structure?
I believe Mr. Director Upton indicated that they consider them as one structure.
That's the current interpretation.
Well, they are. It is part and parcel of the same thing. They are attached. It is. You can't have one without the other. It is one structure.
Okay.
So the square footage for the entire thing is what we're considering as part of this too?
We're not discussing square footage because we don't have a square footage thing for a catio.
Okay, that's what I
So
was
the
gonna
only thing
ask.
we're
Strictly side
discuss-
yard, strictly setback.
Okay,
It's-
thank you, thank you.
Okay, I have no further questions.
And I have a motion and a second.
I motion that on case number 3402025 that we approve the variances as written.
Second.
Oh, yeah. Motion made by Mr. Mackey, second by Ms. Gladno. Board deliberation.
Yes, do you want to start?
Well, I'm still. The width of the tunnel, are we talking 4 foot? And she's willing to go down to 2, like I'm misunderstanding that.
The width, I'm sorry. It's from the edge of the catio walkway to the property line. I believe the walkway itself is 2 feet wide. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the very end of it to where it's closest to the property line. How close that is. That's what we're talking about.
Correct, but she
Yeah.
stated that she's willing to cut that in half. So wouldn't that give more space for maintenance?
She still doesn't have the space. I mean, 2 feet, and you only have 4 feet. You're still gonna be 2 feet, but the fence is a foot over.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, we only have, there's not a formal submittal of a modified set of drawings, is there?
There was this one, which is not that one up there. That's the old one. This is
Is that, I'm trying to figure out what the board has before it. Her original
should have
submittal,
this
or
one.
are we now, did you do the calculations for the variance based on her second submittal? Yes. Okay, thank you.
And also based off of that, she's doing it to the fence, which is not to her property line.
That's my understanding.
I'm sorry to interrupt on it, just to be clear that what you have before you is the modified presentation to vote on tonight. So there is no other suggested,
The only thing that was modified was the
Movements.
back to move it over instead of having it straight. It's currently built straight, all like off the property line at the same distance.
So along the fence line, nothing's changed from last time, correct? Okay.
Mr. Chairman, also, ma'am, I'm sorry that at this point, they're deliberating a motion and there's no longer any audience participation at this point. Thank you. Yeah, if you can have a seat, please. Thank you.
Yes, I find myself in the position, my fellow board members, I want to just say, I am not able to look at a drawing that accurately represents what I'm hearing in testimony. If I'm hearing this testimony correctly, I still believe that the applicant has stated that she is willing to modify the width of the catwalk portion of the catio, and yet she's requesting a 4-foot variance. That 4-foot variance, in my view, is going to make it difficult for the neighbor to properly maintain his fence. And he's gone to great length to place
Yes, correct.
his fence inside the lot line by a foot. I don't recall specifically if in our last meeting on this, it was introduced into the record that the neighbor had a survey done, but I believe I heard him testify to that. If that is the case, then we would know for certain that his fence was placed inside his property line, and that the applicant would be requesting 4 feet for a variance, which would allow her to keep the current catwalk exactly as it exists today. And yet she has testified that she would be willing to, at least I believe that's what I heard for the record, that she would be willing to modify the width of the catwalk. And that would enable Mr. Pacino, in my view, to be able to maintain his fence. Should he need to go outside his property for that 1 foot to maintain the land for weed encroachment? Should he need to seal the fence? Should he need to do any type of maintenance he so desires? So I find myself reluctant to even want to vote on this.
I agree. I had a
If I-
question.
Can I, Mr. Chairman, just for clarification? Whatever she testified to about what she would like to do that is different than what's before you, quite frankly, is irrelevant. What you have before you is the only thing that you can vote on tonight. So if she's had, I believe, 2 months, because I think she got tabled till tonight last month. Am I correct?
Correct.
60 days, if there was any plan to be submitted to you amended for your consideration, I suspect that you should have it right now. And in fact, you do have something that's different than what was originally submitted. If I'm hearing you correctly, you think there might be a third option. We're not here for the third option. The third option doesn't exist before you. The only thing that you have to vote on now is this, what's here.
Okay.
So if there was some other plan she had in mind, then she didn't submit it, that it's not here for our consideration. It's not.
Okay.
And I think that's the only possible way you could approach this.
Thank you, Mr. Guerrero. That clarifies the
Yeah,
matter.
no problem.
I have no further questions or of any city official or any opinion.
So, just to make it clear, again, it's, and I was just handed this. She's saying that she's willing to move the new plans, saying that she's willing to move the rear half of this catio over, but she can't move it where her house is.
Correct. Just like it shows up in there. That's similar to what that's the option
Right.
one that she had originally done, which she resubmitted on
There's
November
the
13th
revised
and
drawing.
colored.
You can see that.
And I don't know.
have it.
Okay.
So back here behind the pool, she's willing to move it. But this is the problem area here. Okay.
Okay.
Mr. Mackey,
No.
Ms. Guadino,
No.
Mr. Emmons.
No. Your motion has been denied, 3-0. Right, next case, case number 356-2025, Nicholas and Sarah, let's see, Sinur.
Hi,
Wait, anybody else want to speak on this case? Raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
yes.
State your case.
My
no.
name is Justin Crassy, CRASI. I'm the architect representing Nicholas and Sarah Sinor at address 5398 Columbia Road.
Thank you. This is for an attached garage project. There's one variance request, a 160 square foot variance for area of private garage. Code permit 750 square feet. The applicant shows 910 square feet. The proposed attached garage is 26 feet by 35 feet, which is 910 square feet, and the lot size is a little over an acre. The existing detached garage will be demolished, as well as the driveway and the rear yard, and will end no further than the most distant point of the garage, eliminating the original variance request of number 2. So there's only one variance, and that's just for the size right now. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, one point, is there anyone, I don't know if we called anyone else further that wishes to be heard on this matter. Would you please come forward at this time? Did we hear that? I
He
didn't hear
asked.
it. I'm
He
sorry.
did ask.
Thank you. I apologize if I did that twice. I didn't hear it. Hearing aids must be turned off.
Mr. Upton? Oh, I'm sorry, okay.
Can you put the plans up just so it's easier as I talk through?
Is that one?
No, that's the site plan. There's this one.
Do you want me to zoom in?
So it's showing two options. And I'll just kind of give you a brief summary of what we're doing.
Mr. Chair, did you swear the witness in?
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
Living in another state.
It's our first day back at the office, and we're all kind of shaking the cobwebs off. Sorry, go ahead.
So the owners, Nick and Sarah, want to make their house more accessible for their daughter who has cerebral palsy. So we're proposing an addition with an accessible bedroom and bathroom on the first floor, accessed from an attached garage that has a wheelchair ramp. We located the ramp in the garage for year-round use and protection from the weather. The existing house was built in 1928, and the first floor is 36 inches above grade. So following ADA guidelines, the Accessibilities Act, the ramp would need to be 36 feet long for the 36-inch rise. And this is what has presented us with the issue. So following the code allowed 750 square foot garage plan here, the ramp does not functionally fit in the garage, mainly because the requirement for landings takes up a lot of additional space when having to make the turn. So we're seeking a variance for a 6-foot additional length here, just making the garage 6 feet longer, which eliminates the extra landing and allows much more space for somebody in a wheelchair to get in and out of a vehicle with equipment to load a wheelchair. We're only asking for the minimum amount necessary to make it usable, and the garage is still within the required setbacks, and it meets, the design as a whole still meets all the other zoning code requirements. And then lastly, there's other pictures on here that we can go through, but we've tried to design it to look like a craftsman house, make it attractive for the neighborhood, and also scale the garage such that it's smaller than the existing house, so that it's appropriately sized as well from the street. And we've also looked at other ways of accomplishing the ramp requirement And I'm happy to go through those with you if you have questions, but none of them were sufficient to our liking, and that's why we're here now. And I can just kind of go over one quickly, I guess. If you go back to the plans. So here, or here actually. One option that we don't like is we could actually build a wall along here and along here and put a door at the end so that the enclosed condition space is different from the garage space, and therefore we'd be meeting the code. However, adding a wall along this is highly undesirable for a child to be using a ramp in a wheelchair because they won't visually be seen from somebody, the parent in the garage. So they could get stuck, something could happen, they're not visually, they can't be spotted. And also it would require us to make the garage even larger because once you add a door, we have to actually make the garage bigger to fit all that extra space. So this is sort of a middle ground solution for us.
Building department?
I spoke with Justin several times on this project, and like you've already noticed, they've already gone away and modified the plan so they wouldn't have their driveway extending any further back, so that way they could limit it to just one variance request. I think he's proven his hardship, and it's a minimal request, I believe, and we don't have any objections. Thank you.
Mr. Upton?
My department's in full support of this request, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Mr. Grill?
No, sir, not at this time. Thank you.
Nobody else wishing to speak? Okay. Open the floor to the board members.
I have no questions.
I have no questions. So, let's see, so, can you make a motion, second?
I'll move on case number 356-2025, Nicholas and Sarah Signer, 5398 Columbia Road, that we approve the variance as requested.
I second.
Motion made by Mr. Mackey, second by Ms. Gladno. Deliberation?
I don't have any concerns. It looks like they thoroughly did their homework. And I think it's a small request to accommodate an ADA child, so I would be in favor.
I concur with Ms. Galatno. We reviewed the plans previously, and everything was thoughtfully presented and designed. I'm 100% in favor of it.
Call the roll?
Mr. Mackey?
Yes.
Ms. Glatno?
Yes.
Mr. Emmons?
Yes. Motion is passed, 3-0.
Thank you.
Next case, case number 363-2025, Jonathan Frost. Anybody else wishing to speak on this case? Raise your right hand, please.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Just name everything.
I'm sorry.
Hello, my
name
name
and
is
address.
Jonathan Frost, F-R-O-S-T, and I am at 4881 Porter Road, North Olmsted, 44070.
Raise your right hand. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. This is for a driveway, actually for a curb cut. It's one variance request. It's for a second driveway curb cut. Code permits one driveway curb cut per residential lot. Applicant shows two. Just a little history about this property. The home was demolished in 2015, and the original and existing apron/curb cut is located on Mill Road. The lot has been vacant until 2025 when a new single home permit was issued. Thank you.
My wife and myself, we are building a home on the corner of Porter and Mill. Our house faces Porter, but we have a side entrance garage. Our main thing is that we're looking for is for the two entrances because our driveway comes off of Mill, but if you know Porter and Mill, there's a stoplight right there on the corner. So if we are coming down Porter and making a left on Mill, and then we have to make another left into our driveway, we run the risk of getting rear-ended because it's going to be a pretty quick even if there's traffic coming already down Mill Road. So what we're hoping to do is just add another entrance off of Porter so that if we're coming down Porter, we can enter into our property off of Porter, and then basically the exact same thing, we're coming up Mill, enter to our property off of Mill. So it's really just looking for safety for my family and for other drivers around us.
Ms. Seeley?
If you could see from the drawings, I kind of put X marks on one of the overhead site plan from the county. I'll keep going. Yeah, that one, it shows where it is existing and where the proposed is at. Sorry. I think he's also proposed to put in a turnaround on the side, so maybe make backing in and out of his driveway as well. It does look a lot different on paper than it does when you drive by. It looks a lot smaller when you drive by than the paper. It makes it look like there's way more room. But yeah, I've been working with the applicant for some time now, trying to figure out the best options for him, and this is what he thinks. So I don't think we have any objections. Thank you.
Mr. Upton?
No objections per se. Just to note that the existing concrete drive meets the distance requirements. If I'm looking at this correctly, if you're looking at the plot sheet, page 1 of 2, I believe it's 209 feet from the intersection, which does meet the spacing requirements. Although I will note that certain times of the day, because there's no right-hand turn allowed when school's in session and things like that, you could be, in addition to that quick left at 200 feet, you could have 5, 6, 7 cars backed up. He's waiting to make a left into his driveway. So while I don't necessarily always agree with more than one curb cut for any particular business, I think it's warranted in this case. Just on a design note, I like the color of the house, and I love that the house actually has a side entrance garage, so it's showing its best face to the street, as opposed to, you know, some of the newer houses. The biggest thing that you see is a big garage, and the house kind of sits behind it. So it's a welcome change, and welcome to the neighborhood, and we have no issues with this particular application.
Mr. Guerrero?
Not at this time. Thank you, sir.
Do you have anything else to add? There are no other parties want to speak. Okay, I'm going to open the floor to any comments up here.
I have no questions for the applicant.
No questions.
Can I have a motion in a second?
On case number 363-2025, I move we approve the variance as requested.
I second.
Motion made by Mr. Mackey, second by Ms. Gladno. Any deliberations up here?
No,
It's
oh.
pretty clear, I'm thinking.
yeah, it's,
I'll just say that I drive through that intersection almost daily, and I've watched the progress on the building site and now a complete home, and I think it's great to have somebody joining our community. New property that looks so good. Actually, I'm totally in favor of all the entire request here, safety reasons, and the convenience of the other people driving in the area.
I agree.
Call the roll.
Mr. Mackey?
Yes.
Ms. Glatno?
Yes.
Mr. Emmons?
Yes. Your motion has passed 3-0.
Thank you.
Next case, case number 370-2025, Jonathan McKenna.
Jonathan McKenna, McKenna. Oh, address, yeah, 5905 Stearns Road.
Raise your hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
State your case.
Nope.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So this is for a chicken coop. It's a 101 square foot variance for area where chickens are harbored. Code permits 50 square feet. Applicant shows 121 square feet. The animal shelter is 3 feet 9 inches by 5 feet 8 inches and 6 feet high. It's 21.25 square feet. There's a chicken run that is 10 feet wide by 13 feet long, making the whole area 121.25 square feet. The applicant's parcel is just a little over a half of an acre. Thank you.
Now,
I'm trying to get the bigger run for my chickens and a little bit bigger house because the 50 square feet that the city allows is not enough for the 10 chickens they allow. An average size chicken, which what everybody normally has, requires 4 square foot of space inside of their coop and 10 square feet of space in a run per chicken. So at 10 chickens that it's allowed, the run needs to be around roughly 100 square foot. So with the bigger run and the bigger house, it would give them more room to run. It would keep them from bullying each other, attacking each other with more space, being able to spread out. Prevents disease a little bit less because they're further apart. It's better for their health. It's better for behavior. Keeps from boredom and bullying. And then also, my daughters love going back there. It teaches them responsibility as part of their daily routine. Go back, water the chickens, feed the chickens, collect eggs. And it just keeps my kids entertained instead of being on anything else, like TV or tablets. They like to be in the yard. But with the bigger run and the bigger coop, I can actually keep the full 10 chickens happy without having to worry about them being so on top of each other that they're going to start hurting themselves or hurting each other because there's no room for them. That 50 square feet you guys offer requires the coop to be in that 50 square feet. With that in there, say you have a 20 square foot home, then you only have 30 square feet inside that run for them to actually be outside and doing what they do. And we're not allowed to allow them to free range in the city, which I understand. You don't want them running, I get that. But without that more space for them to exercise and get out, it's more of a chance that they're going to get either sick or start hurting themselves. And I have letters in there too, as you saw, from all my neighbors. They don't mind it. Doesn't bother them. There's more than enough room in the back of that yard for everything.
Hey, Lynn, that last photo, their photo actually shows it the best of what we're looking at.
This
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can see the coop
You can
itself
flip
sits
it.
outside the run. And it is 10 foot off the property line like it's supposed to be. It's the inspector came out and it is off the property line where it needs to be. It's far enough back from a dwelling. It's just the actual size that I'd like to get approved to be able to be bigger.
Need to add, Ms. Seeley?
Just the staff comments I had, just so you have a history on this. An anonymous complaint was called into the building department on June 9th at 25 regarding a chicken coop, the smell and the number of chickens. Review of the street records did not show that a chicken coop permit had been issued. The inspector met with the homeowner and saw that the chicken coop was present and that it was too large. The homeowner was advised to apply for a permit and reduce the size of the coop. On June 16th at 25, a permit had not been applied for yet, resulting in the inspector opening a code case. The permit was applied for and issued on 7/15 of 2025, based on site plan showing a zoning compliant chicken coop. Due to scheduling conflicts, it took several months for the inspection to take place. So then finally on 12/10 of 25, the inspector met with the homeowner's wife, and then at that point it was determined that the coop was not zoning compliant, and they were advised to apply for a variance if that's what they wished, in order to make it compliant, or apply for a variance. Thank you. That's all I have.
Mr. Upton?
I would I would just note that the the code section cited, I was just looking it up just to double check. It was passed in October of 2018. So presumably the laws and rules and best practices of keeping and maintaining chickens were taken into account when this zoning code was rewritten, and our zoning code is lawful and good and exists for a reason. And so I think that should be taken and given a measurable consideration in this request. And then secondly, we had a case similar to this, but the chicken coop itself was a really and the run was a really nice structure and kind of aesthetically not exactly what we're looking at with this particular application. That's all I have, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Groh?
Not at this time, thank you.
I will say you cannot see any of that from the street. It is behind my house, far enough back. No, you can't see it from, unless you walk physically behind my house, you will not see it.
Any other interested parties that want to speak? Open the floor to members. Anything to say?
I don't have any questions.
I have no questions for the applicant.
Have you considered other options if needed?
I do have another chicken coop inside that run, but I'd have to buy a whole new run or rebuild the run itself to get down to that size.
Anything else? We have a motion and a second.
I'll move on case number 370-2025 to approve the variance as requested.
I second.
Motion made by Mr. Mackey, second by Ms. Gladnoff.
I'll start out the conversation. I think that we're seeing an increase in the number of residents who are engaging in if you will, the husbandry of chickens, ducks, and other animals here in the city. And we've heard previous testimony on best practices, and I'm not aware of what best practices were in 2018, but I don't find this unreasonable if it promotes the health and well-being of the chickens and enables the family to enjoy this and to gain eggs. So I'm in favor of granting the variance.
I agree. I think it sits back enough from each side of the property, so.
Call a roll.
Mr. Mackey,
Yes.
Ms. Glotno,
Yes.
Mr. Emmons,
Yes. Your motion has been passed, 3-0. Thanks very much. Next case number 372-2025, Sheets. Say your name and address.
Good evening. My name is Anthony Coyne. I'm with the law firm of Mansur Gavin. I'm land use counsel. Our firm is land use counsel to Sheets. And with me is Owen Wolf and Ellen Selly to handle most of the presentation. This is an application that you might want to do the swearing in first, I suppose.
Let the other members state their names.
Ellen Selly, SELLE, 243 Sheets Way, Claysburg, Pennsylvania, 16625.
Owen Wolf, WOLF, 243 Sheets Way, Claysburg, Pennsylvania, 16625.
Tony Bougebrel at
28925 Lorraine Road, spelled Bougebrayel.
And put your hands up. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you.
Just to,
Back. Mr. Upton.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, thank you. We have a total of 5 variances in front of this body tonight, 4 of which are required illumination variances, so the same code section applies, which would be 1161.03, or I'm sorry, 1161.10 E3, and that is variance 1, a 19.06 foot candle variance for maximum average illumination under a fueling canopy. Code permits 15, applicant requests 34. A 24-foot candle variance for maximum illumination at any point under a fueling canopy. Code permits 20, applicant requests 44. A 0.59-foot candle variance for maximum average illumination in the parking lot. Code permits 2-foot candles, applicant requests 2.59. A 6.3-foot candle variance for maximum illumination at any point in the parking lot. Code permits 5-foot candles, applicant requests 11.3-foot candles. They're, again, the same code section for all 4 of those variances. And then a variance for a stacking space of one stacking space. Code requires 8. Applicant requests 7. And your code section on that, 1118.09B1.
Present your case, please.
yeah, again, my name's Tony Coyne. I'm Land Use Counsel for Sheets. Sheets is one of the best operators of convenience stores, gas stations in really the Midwest right now, and they're bringing another product to North Olmsted. The variances were accurately enumerated by Mr. Upton. They're all minor variances, quite frankly. Ellen will take you through them, and really, they have a very important safety protocol on the lighting on site. You have a code that doesn't, that gets more specific than some. A lot just address the perimeter photometric plan for foot candles at the edge of the property. You have some that relate to the actual operation of the site, which Sheets is designed for maximum safety. So that's the one variance. The other one is the issue of the stacking of vehicles, and it's again just one vehicle short. But if you look at the site plan, under no circumstance would you have vehicles ever going out into the right of way, because there's additional area for vehicles if they were in line for the electronic orders that they'll be getting. And Ellen could explain that to you as well. So Ellen, I'll let you walk them through the site plan.
Yeah, so ahead of this meeting, I did a lot of Googling. It seems to be a good place to start. And then as well had a lot of discussions with our lighting vendor. That's Red Leonard. They're out of Cincinnati, Ohio. And they're a firm that doesn't just work for Sheets. They work for a lot of other name brand companies out there. So they provided this photometric for us. You can see blue is the area that, blue around the canopy in the building are the strongest lighting areas there. And then how it dissipates. They provided the photometric in foot candles. Foot candles is also what the city measures it in. And foot candles is basically it's defined as the illumination from one candle falling in a 1 square inch foot surface that's 1 foot away. I don't think a lot of us can tell the difference from 1 foot candle to 10 to 20. You really do have to go out and measure it. If you're just looking, driving around like I did tonight, it's very hard to tell what the foot candles are. And also the foot candle isn't the intensity. If it's not that, hey, there's a light source over on that side of the room, it's how much it dissipates towards the next object or the distance you're looking at. So those are just some things to keep in mind. And then some other stuff that I looked at here too is our canopy typically, when we would go through any other site, would have a lot more foot candles than what your code permits. So typically sheets would have an average of 50-foot candles under the canopy. Keep in mind that your code permits a maximum of 20. Sheets would typically have 50. And we do this to evenly distribute light, not create dark spots, provide a safe, inviting area for our customer, and then as well as the security features that Tony mentioned before. We have about 40 cameras at every single one of our locations, and obviously those work best the more light we have on site. So the dimmer those lights are, it's not as easy to make out things. Some of that security system can then be tapped into the resources at the city too. So say if there was an issue on site or that could be seen from our cameras, we will work with the local law enforcement and they can use our cameras anytime. They can get in there, they can find the person, the license plate, whatever they need to do. So it's really not just at a benefit for us, it's a benefit for the community to be able to use those cameras. So with that 50-foot maximum under the canopy that we typically have, it brings up the entire average. Your code specifies a maximum under the canopy of 50 and then an average under the canopy of 15. So right away, we're blowing those numbers out. One thing that I did talk to Red Leonard about was, how can we kind of create a happy medium here? We understand that you really don't want as high as we have, but how can we kind of split the difference? So we have proposed, again, our maximum that we typically do is closer to 50, but for this one, we have requested the maximum at 44, and your code permits 20. And then that brought up the average. So then our average under the canopy is 34, and then 15 is what's permitted per code. Around the canopy there is kind of that yellow area, and that's then where that light dissipates to. It's very concentrated. It's a straight down light. It's an LED, but it does then bring up the maximum and the average of the parking lot just in that yellow area around the canopy, that yellow band. So that's why we're then asking for 2 additional variances for the parking lot maximum average and for the parking lot average. The other place that there's also a variance for is right around the building, and I think it's just kind of some overlapping lights, but it's very minimal. It was a 2.73 variance of foot candle. Again, your eye's not going to notice that difference of 2 to 10, but it's only 2.73 is the request we're asking for there. The outlier variance that was mentioned is for the mobile order pickup window. This is new. We did present to the Plan Commission just in December, and what you're seeing is an updated site plan that they will be receiving for our next meeting. Before we had a drive-through queuing lane, and that queuing lane had an order point, a traditional order point, and then stacking vehicles behind that too. So we were previously meeting your code of 8-car stack. But now it's just a mobile order pickup window, which means that everyone has to place their orders on their phone, and then they can go through the drive-through window for that. And we only have a 7-car stack along the building edge, as you can see. Those vehicles could stack if for some reason we had more than 7. We don't project that. Our peak hour is lunchtime, and we typically have 5 cars max in our peak hours, so we don't really expect the cars to ever stack further than the side of our building. But it is part of your code, so it's in this variance. With that, though, I can answer any questions. I do have just some pictures, some renderings, or I guess these are photos of Sheet's typical lighting that I can just pass out to you guys, if that's okay.
Sure.
So you can see what it looks like. Again, you can't tell what the vehicles are just by looking at it, but this is.
Sure, thanks.
And then Owen's here for any questions too. He's part of our real estate team, helped find this site, been working on it with day one since Max. But if you have any questions for us, we'd be happy to answer them.
Let's see, so
there's a gentleman that's behind.
additional comments, please.
Hello.
I love Sheets. I love their pizza. Beautiful. They run great business. My grief is actually with the city. A couple of months ago, I was up here. I inquired about Sheets coming to the area because I've heard it through the, and the city was not aware of the situation. Mr. Upton was here himself. My council lady was here herself. No one knew about it. On December 10th, one of these came through telling us there is a Sheets coming in our neighborhood. Most neighbors, hardly anybody else but me, knew about it. When Sheets tried to go into the old bowling alley, a lot of people knew about it. So between December 10th, when the news first broke, and today, it's only about 25 days, that's Godspeed. Even my council lady didn't know about it. I looked up any meeting minutes from any committee. Nowhere was Sheets mentioned. So my question to the city is, why? Why is this being kept under the rugs? I think what we need to do is to pause, give our neighbors the chance to look at it, and to have some feedback into it. That's what's been done everywhere else throughout our city. Why not on this project? Thank you.
Yeah, again, my name is Joseph Facino. I live at
Mr. Chairman, if we could just let the record reflect, you were placed under oath at a previous time this evening on another project, correct?
Correct.
You remain under oath?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
I live at 5870 Stearns, which is literally a stone's throw from the location of this Sheets. And again, as Tony reiterated, that's a big commercial thing. I could see, you know, chicken coops and fences and garages and driveways, a couple neighbors around. But I mean, and the lighting they're talking about is double what you guys normally allow. So first of all, I'm a little irritated because I spent, you know, $100,000 making it just so I could get in my driveway on Stearns because traffic's already ridiculous. And now we have no mention. You guys are just slapping this big Sheets at the corner, and there's going to be so much friggin' light down there. I mean, they're going to try to land planes in the goddamn parking lot. So I don't think they should be allowed to have this extra lighting. I don't even know how they got this Sheets by. I mean, everywhere in the world, any other thing in this city, everybody's complaining and has something to say about. And like Mr. Tony said, like, where's the letters? I mean, I'm within 1,000 feet of this. It affects my way of life. You know, now it's a hardship on me, worse than the damn cats. Okay, because now it's already a nightmare. Go hang out. Why don't you guys drive down Stearns, close to rush hour, the schools, the buses. I mean, for no reason in the middle of the day, the friggin' traffic's backed halfway up to the highway. On top of it, they're building that new development back there. Like, how much crap are you gonna cram? Also, now you have all these vehicles, all this extra traffic. I'm pretty sure the BP diagonal from there that used to be there a million years ago, they can't do crap with it. No one wants to buy it because of all the crap in the ground. Now you guys are going to stuff this huge friggin' gas station that there's like another one a quarter mile away. You know, now you're going to have all the riffraff. I'm on the outskirts of North Olmsted where it's nice and peaceful. I pay an ungodly amount of friggin' property taxes. I have to go through all kinds of crap to try to live on my nice big property. And now I got a friggin' gas station the size of the airport at the corner, and you guys don't even tell us about it. And now they want to light this friggin' thing up more than Hopkins Airport. So how's that affect the rest of us in the community? Because Stearns and Lorraine, I mean, traffic's always a nightmare. You can't even get out of the plaza. The little old ladies can't even go to Huntington Bank and then go over to Canaries and eat their breakfast without having to spend a half hour trying to make that turn out of the parking lot. Now you're adding this monstrosity on top of they're adding this friggin' window. So now you got every degenerate trying to use their friggin' telephone instead of the drive-through where they just drive up and make an order and waste everybody's time. You have every idiot who already doesn't know how to use their damn car or their cell phone.
Okay,
Mobile-
I've given you 3 times. Please control your language.
Sorry, I didn't hear the first two. But you got every idiot using their cell phone to order, and then they're going to stack up a bunch of cars. So now you got more stuff going on. You got Dunkin' Donuts. There's already lines out the door. And now you're at a gas station. Something was probably zoned like retail commercial. So now you're stuffing a gas station in there, and like, again, no one was notified. Like, no one had a say. Is it like, what stage is this in? And if it's to the point where they're gonna build this thing, now we got these lights, like literally, I could see the old Rite Aid lights through my basement windows. Now you guys are gonna light this thing up like Hopkins. This is just ridiculous.
Mr. Chairman, I think to the issue of the notification, I assure you that our clerk gave required notice per our code to those residents and landowners within the specific area.
What is the specific area?
Lynn, take it away.
Property owners that abut or are directly across the street from the parcel.
Okay, and that goes, and that's just ridiculous as well. I could see that for residential or smaller commercial things, but I mean,
This is a building zone, a variance.
That's the law. That's the law in the city. I just want to make it clear that the code was followed. So you may take issue with the code, but the code that we have provides the notice for as detailed by Ms. Wilson. That's why the gentleman next to you has that card in his hand, because he's directly across the street.
okay, but there's, like you said, there was nothing in the minutes. Like, when did this whole project even get approved? Is it approved?
It hasn't been approved. It's going through the process right now. This is
So
part of
this
the process.
literally just the process of the lighting portion of it.
It's the only thing it's here tonight for is a variance on the zoning, on the lighting component as was detailed by the representatives from Sheets.
But everything else has been approved. They have the property, they are building on it.
I don't know about that, but they've got a full development plan submitted to the city of North Olmsted pursuant to our codes, and it's going through the administrative review. It's been to Planning and Design Commission already. Is still before Planning and Design. Sent over to BZBA. It'll be back before Planning and Design. If you want to know when that next meeting is, contact Ms. Wilson. She'll tell you when the next time they're going to be on the agenda. And you can come to that meeting. Then it'll go to the city council. It'll be before the Building, Zoning, and Development Committee of Council. It'll ultimately be before city council. So there's a lot of review and discussion that are still going to take place. But I wanted to make it clear that the notices were sent out pursuant to code. There's nobody. I understand you might not like those notice requirements, but it's not being kept in the dark. It's not being kept secret. The notices are sent as required.
Fantastic. All right, well, I just like to contest the lighting, because at the end of the day, it's just going to light everything up like Hopkins Airport.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Right. Mr. Upton?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. A few things as it relates to this variance. If you could pull up the I really appreciate this is exactly what the school district did when they were reviewing their lighting plan, and so yeah, that one that you just had up. So as it relates to, I'm going to take the last variance first and then work our way back, because I think it helps explain some of this stuff. Part of the reason for the short stacking at the kind of the south facing wall where the pickup window will be is that we actually asked the Sheets to reorient their building. Typically, if this would have been your normal, we'll call it quote unquote normal layout, the gas station canopy is at the front by the roadway, the building's in the back, and things are a little bit different. And had it been that way, they would have had plenty of room for stacking. The city actually asked them to reorient their building closer to the street front and put the canopy behind the building so that the building is up on Lorraine Road. That kind of narrowed the driveway for the pickup lane. And so that cut off a car. That, in addition to the fact that there is no like, hi, I'd like this sub or pizza or whatever. There's no order window. Those were the two things that happened there. With respect to the lighting, we have no issue with it because twofold. One, if you go to the blue, green, yellow, there you go. It's directly adjacent neighbors are the Dunkin' Donuts. And then if you look directly to the east, it's that office building. One of the concerns that we did have as we were talking through this is the parcel further to the north, which is the Forest Commons subdivision that Dries is building, but that will have a fence at its southern bound. So we have no issues with light pollution going north or south. The resident who expressed a concern is south of the Stearns and Lorraine intersection. It is highly unlikely that any of the noise pollution, or I'm sorry, any of the, we'll call it air quotes, light pollution that he referenced, he'll be affected by, because the stalls are on the other side of the building, right? So it's just understand his concern. I will also note too that this body did approve a similar variance request. I didn't look into the case file, but Ralph, Mr. Mackey, you'll remember the Enterprise rental car variance over on Dover Center Road. They wanted a lighting variance for the foot candles to help, when they're going checking in through, it's 5 o'clock in the winter and they're getting rental turn-ins. They still need to do their walkthroughs and stuff like that. That variance was ultimately granted as well, and so we view that in a similar vein. And then lastly, as the applicant stated, we have been working with them for quite some time, and to the residents' concern or question, the city, we speak with dozens of folks that are looking to do something, and until someone puts a piece of paper like this in my hand that has an applicant, that has an owner signed off that says, yes, this guy can apply for this on my piece of land, it's all just talk. And so if we commented on all of the potential ongoings of the city, we'd be here all night. But until we actually get an application, it's just hearsay. And so at the time that you did inquire, we had not received an application. There's no, as the law director stated, there's no nefarious intent. The planning commission agendas are published. They're online. We're working with some issues with the federal government right now, as is pretty much everyone. But on a really big reimbursement project, so we're a little bit behind on the minutes. That as soon as the minutes are done, they'll be posted. Again, there's nothing nefarious. It's just the normal order of business. Thank you for indulging that explanation as well as my report, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and to Director Upton. He gave an excellent description of a prior project, Enterprise, and I would be remiss if I didn't remind you that each project is taken on its own, and no prior approval should be given any weight as precedent for a future decision. As we all know that, but it's trying to illustrate the point. But just a general reminder, this one stands on its own, and you should make your decision based on the evidence you have here before you tonight, including statements by gentlemen to the south and the applicant's representative and members of Sheets' team. So, thank you.
Do you have anything to add?
We would just repeat that they really are minor variances under the circumstances, and we would request approval. The rest of the project will go through the normal course, and we're excited to be again in this great community of North Olmsted, and we think a lot of the people here. So we're really appreciative of the work that staff has provided, the input, and we'd like to get a formal approval for these variances tonight, and we'll move along for the other meetings in the normal course. Appreciate it.
Open the floor to the board.
I do have one question, kind of ancillary to the whole notion of the foot candle variances being requested. At this point, within this proposed development, is Sheets committed to the location? Fully committed?
Yes, so we have a signed lease agreement with the current property owner that owns the ground where the Rite Aid is closed. So yes, we are committed to the location.
Okay, and then looking at the drawings here, it would appear that this is not a retrofit. This is going to be a brand new ground up facility entirely.
Yes, we'll completely demolish the Rite Aid facility, and everything will be brand new, including the pavement, landscaping, everything.
Okay. Well, I had that question because I know that you'll be in complete compliance with all the EPA regulations and making making sure that everything's done properly. And in your testimony, ma'am, you also noted that Sheet's corporate standards for lighting far exceed what the city code describes, and that in your planning thus far for this project, you have scaled back some of the lighting. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And I wanted to reaffirm that. And number two, that the light beams of the lighting are used to illuminate the ground directly below all canopies for generally the purposes of safety and security.
That's absolutely correct. So all of the lights are LED in the canopy. They're completely flush with the canopy, and they point directly down. So they're like full cutoff is what we would call that. So there's not all that spillover as if you had something that was angled, a lens that was angled. It's completely face down, similar to other canopies in the area.
Okay. Thank you. No further questions.
I have nothing. Can I get a motion and a second?
I'll move that we approve the variances as requested on case number 372-2025.
I second.
Motion made by Mr. Mackey, second by Ms. Gladney.
I do want to make a comment, in support of Sheets. Obviously, finding a project to go into a well-traveled intersection and one that permits motorists to take advantage of refueling, particularly those people who are traversing Stearns Road or coming from Crocker or from South Stearns and neighboring communities to and from work and other destinations. I think it affords them a viable business to stop and fuel and to buy sundries of various sorts, food. So I think, granting the variances for the purposes of safety and security, and the fact that they install 40 surveillance cameras to help monitor safety and security and to promote collaboration with the city safety forces is very important. So I'm 100% in favor of the project.
Agreed. I'm happy to see a new business move in and, welcome them to the community.
Yeah, I see they're have made an effort at least to contain their light in the areas that need to be lit, and so therefore, in this particular case, with no other major living areas around them at this point, I see no reason.
Yeah, there's no residential around that intersection.
Right.
Yeah.
So, Ms. Wilson would call the roll.
Mr. Mackey?
Yes.
Ms. Glotno?
Yes.
Mr. Emmons?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
This back to you. And that meeting. Oh, any communications?
I am pleased to inform the board that our fourth member will be joining, subject to intergovernmental committee review. We'll term this a lateral transfer. Miss Gretchen Schuler, it will be ending her service on the Landmarks Commission and joining you on the dais at Building Zoning Board of Appeals for our next meeting. So I would suggest that maybe we hold off on appointment of the officers of the board until we at least have 4 of 5 present. And that's all I have, Mr. Chair.
Right. Adjournment of the meeting at 8:30.